And when we understand God, we no longer judge humanly. We've heard the term, speak no evil, see no evil. Portia would like us to consider this as a spiritual practice that we already know as part of holding the Immaculate Concept, yet to broaden it even more and to think no evil, feel no evil, know no evil. When we engage in the practice of godliness, which is really going into our I Am Presence and consciousness through meditation, through prayer, through deep reverential contemplation of our true nature, we behold God face to face, in the sense that we put ourselves in position energetically and spiritually to truly understand God. And when we understand God, we no longer judge humanly. Yes, we observe all things, yet from a state of divine equipoise, there's no longer this tearing apart of anything, anyone, any situation, even what's happening on earth, with this energy that lowers our frequency. So to see no evil, speak no evil, is the beginning of a great spiritual practice, and then we can move it forward by no longer thinking or feeling or knowing evil of any kind within ourselves, within others, within the world. We become like the great silent watchers who observe, yet in their great silence, because they've contacted the great spirit or the great God energy within that silent world of non-reactivity, they are holding a field of such fine, quintessential virtue that it empowers mankind. They become muses in the heaven world for all of us to rise to commune with. And then when we are observant of what God is and his, her manifestation through divine beings, angels, of all the nine choirs, ascended masters, we vibrate at such a fine frequency that we are above the darkness. We are beyond limitation. We are in a new energy field where we emanate light 24/7. Does this mean that we're ignorant of what's going on in the earth? Of course not. We are observant of it. From one vantage point, we hear the cries of mankind, and we can respond to pain and suffering just as we just did this Rosary of Comfort, actually enumerating many things that we would consider evil. Yet, we do so from a state of grace and holiness and purity and divine sanctity, where the light that we bear, the energy that we have in our hearts of compassion, understanding, kindness, patience, all the 8 heart virtues, are so locked in and loaded in our consciousness that no matter what's going on in the outer world, we become part of the solution to every predicament because we are broadcasting light. We are emanating that virtue. So it's kind of a catch-22 in one sense, that we don't desire to be in a state of ignorance or delusion about this. Yes, there are things happening in the 3D world that we know are not real in the higher sense. And we can't just say, no, I'm not going to go there or help anybody because I'm going to sit in my high and holy altar and just be in a woo-woo state of seeming blessedness. It's a very powerful state of divine force and energy where the light that comes through us, especially our eyes, our mind, our heart, our will, is trued on perfection and bringing heaven into earth. And it is a very powerful dynamic, and we can compromise that by too much focus upon what is unreal in the world. So it's a balance. And we walk that balance every day in some way because we're always engaging in some activity, some energies that we have to deal with. And sometimes it becomes very physical and we may get ill, or we may feel that we're becoming a nexus through which everything's happening and we don't quite know how to deal with it or to fully transmute everything that's going on. And as initiates, this is one of the most delicate positions to be in because we mean for the best to happen. We intend that the best will happen, and yet things happen that are not so fun, not so easy, not so deliberate in the sense that we kind of almost control them spiritually. We can't control everything. What we can control is our reaction and our consciousness, and abide in the state of grace where even if people mistreat us, misunderstand us, judge us, whatever, we are really above that judgment and that manipulation and that control because we are controlled by God. God control in the 3 o'clock line. We just entered Aries. So what is this God control? It is the mastery of our minds, our hearts, our wills, our feeling body, to the extent that we live in a divine domain of blessedness and grace where whatever is happening, and we are observant like the great silent watchers, yet we choose to see no evil, speak no evil, behold no evil, think no evil, feel no evil, know no evil in ourself and in others and in the world. The greatest saints have understood this, and that's why they led prayerful lives of going into seclusion and in deep reverential prayer and meditation. They lived in a higher frequency that sometimes they took those burdens on their physical body to hold them so that others wouldn't have to suffer, yet their focus was still supremely on God. Padre Pio, St. Francis, many others. We can take our cue for this even in today's world where we're not in monasteries, secluded and off on our own somewhere. Yet we can set aside time during the day to shut everything out, even if it's for 10 minutes, even 5 minutes, and be in the stillness of our presence and commune with divine authority, with our God presence, and feel that light energy emanating through us and going to wherever it chooses to go, where God chooses it to go, to be a benefit to life and to help heal, bless, raise, liberate others. I've contemplated this dynamic over and over because I still find myself wanting to know what's going on in the world, desiring to see what the latest situation is in Iran and all this. And it's okay. I think we in our Christ self know where the balance is in this. We intuitively can realize how much time we spend doing various things versus remaining in presence and then being a beacon that the angels and God relies upon for the resource of light and energy to try to assuage or mitigate things that are happening. So the more that you are in a prayerful, devotional state of divine equipoise and harmony, the more you can be used to actually transmute what's going on anywhere in the world to benefit life. It's a law. It's a cosmic law. If you are in harmony, you can be used as an instrument. If you're not harmonious and you start to devolve into seeing evil, speaking evil of this or that situation or other people especially, it's not the highest state of light and life to live in, right? I think we all intuitively know the harmonics of our own being and how much time and space we require to maintain that harmony. And if at times the burden is so great, you may have to pull back, not do as much work, take a respite, maybe go into the wilderness or climb a mountain or go to a hot springs or away from people in general and recharge and get nourished and nurtured by divine frequencies. Sometimes even late at night. When I go out occasionally and the stars are out, there's no clouds in the sky, it is a mystical moment of divine magic where I can connect with the stars and the consciousness of these great beings who are the stars and receive some impulses from them that immediately help me. Immediately I feel a wash over my being, these mystical mother elements of the night side or the nighttime that nurture the inner part of me that doesn't always come out in the regular workaday world or during the daytime. So sometimes some of you are more night people, and the reason is you may require those energies to do like secret work or crystal ray work, right? Something that's more mystical, more interesting, more dynamic in a different way. So, although I like to get up very early in the morning, and that's my magic time, some of you may, based on your biorhythms, do almost better at night. And I understand that. So have balance in that too, where maybe, you give yourself permission to do that. I think, though, it's dangerous to only wake up 2 or 3 hours after the sunrise and have that be your norm, because I think that you miss capturing the most magical solar elements of light from the sun if you can be up before the sunrise. It's really a powerful time, and this is what the Essenes did and what many of the mystery schools initiates have done. So, live in harmony, and as much as possible, no evil, speak no evil, and then broaden that, think no evil, feel no evil, know no evil. And if we put it in a positive context, see only good, speak only of good, think only good things, feel only good, God, and know only God or good things. So we could take this ancient adage and maybe use conscious language and put it in the positive and make it such a dynamic spiritual practice that we become brighter, we become more noble, we become more serene, we become more affluent. So what Portia says today, if you desire affluence, which is the effulgence of abundance of your I Am Presence. True affluence is the effulgence of the abundance of your I Am Presence. That's what affluence is. If you desire to be affluent, practice this, because all the energies of spirit will come unto you who practice living in the presence, who practice love, who practice being the light. So if you have any problems with money at all, maybe it's because you're not communing as deeply and reverentially and as powerfully with your I Am Presence as you could. You're spending too much time in the world of form in your consciousness. Go into the I Am Presence, the source of all light and love and abundance, and stay there in a frequency and in a magnanimity that magnetizes to you everything that you require to do your mission and to live affluently in the highest sense. So thank you